Diamonds, symbols of love. For over a century, we've enjoyed a love affair with these gems. Or symbols of hate. These gems have contributed to the death of thousands of African people. Kono is the diamond mining heartland of the West African state of Sierra Leone. In the 1990s, precisely because of diamonds, this place became the heartland of the country's bloody civil war. A war that left over 50,000 dead and hundreds of thousands of refugees. The rebel RUF seized control of the diamond fields and earned as much as $400 million in a decade of illegal smuggling of rough diamonds. Conflict diamonds, or blood diamonds as they became known, were traded for arms, a cash crop for the brutal campaign. At number 7 Nyanta Street, barely recognisable as a house, mining labourer Sahfrea Mohammed Konoboy and his family try to rebuild their lives. This street was one of the first places RUF rebels seized control. Attacked at night, Mohammed was forced to flee with his family to the refugee camps in neighbouring Guinea.
Well, really,
I suffered seriously during the war. Number 1, I had no education. I never went to school. Number 2, my children had just started school when we had to move. In the camps, there were no schools. Many suffered. A UN peace deal was finally brokered in Sierra Leone in 1999, and a military mission was established to help disarm combatants. Mohammed's hometown was one of the last places to be reclaimed. He returned to try to find work in the mines. He found his home in ruins.
When I
returned, I found my house broken down. I gathered some old pieces of zinc and I managed to cover 3 rooms. Even this, when we came back, this wall had fallen down, so I joined bits together. You can see this is an old one, this new. I took bricks from there and transferred them to this wall. Mohammed's story is repeated everywhere you go in Sierra Leone. Unlike many of his neighbours, he was fortunate not to lose any of his children. Mohammed doesn't make much money from the diamonds he finds. 3 years on, this is a family and a country visibly struggling to survive. Following UN sanctions imposed on blood diamond producers, such as Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo and Sierra Leone, the international community responded further to the issue by establishing the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme. With active involvement of NGOs, governments and the diamond industry, essentially this is a multilateral trade agreement used to prevent conflict. Under the scheme, in operation since January 2003, unpolished diamonds can only be bought or sold between the 43 participating countries. All diamonds must be accompanied by a tamper-proof Kimberley Process Certificate that acts as an assurance that the diamonds are conflict-free. Despite the destruction of the war, it's business as usual in Sierra Leone for the diamond dealers. But now all mines must have a licence to operate, and all dealers and exporters must be licensed by government. To receive Kimberley Process certification, all diamonds for export must pass through the Government Gold and Diamond Office in the capital, Freetown. Director Lawrence Mayers makes numerous checks on anyone trying to export diamonds. Exporting licences are verified. So too is the source of the money used to buy the diamonds.
Well, this office does not only look at the exporter from the cash point of view. We also go beyond that. We find out whether in fact he's doing legal business or whether in fact he is having side arrangements. That is to say, if he brought in $100,000 and he has bought goods in the tune of $200,000, this office rejects business of that nature.
But the level of legal business is increasing. In 4 years, Sierra Leone's diamond exports have increased from $1.5 million a year to an estimated $100 million in 2004. And with 3% export tax imposed on all diamonds, the government is encouraged to control the smuggling. On import into the trading countries, Kimberley Process certificates are checked for tampering, as are the packages of diamonds. If any irregularities occur, the diamonds are seized until an investigation is carried out. The industry is keenly aware that to protect their multi-million-dollar interests, they cannot have blood tainting the gems. And with 80% of all rough diamonds traded through Antwerp in Belgium, the EU was quick to recognise the role it could play.
We have been very active, I think, in the negotiation process, in a run-up before it was even formalized. I think there already the sheer fact that a big power and also the Union being one of the biggest trading centers for diamonds is involved and is committed to the same cause helped kick off, I think, this process.
Unusually for trade negotiations, everyone seems to be in agreement. All the major diamond players have signed up: South Africa, Canada, the EU, Russia and the United States. So is a small piece of paper the way to stop Africa's blood diamond trade?
It is too early to say, has it worked, has it not worked. The first important step was the commitment, the political commitment and the will to make it work. Now the second step is now to also make sure that it is applied, and the best way to do so is by monitoring, but peer monitoring.
As the scheme operates by consensus, it was vital that participating countries would voluntarily accept missions of their peers to inspect the implementation of the scheme on the ground. This was an important breakthrough, but many challenges still lie ahead for the Kimberley process. One significant challenge is administering the scheme in African countries at times ill-equipped to deal with the problem. Decades of war and political corruption have stripped Sierra Leone of more basic resources than just the diamonds. At the national airport, mines monitoring officers work under difficult circumstances. With weekly flights direct to Belgium, there's no X-ray machine for hand baggage, and officers must make manual checks. But for the local leaders, international monitoring is the only way to ensure the fragile stability of their country.
People benefited out of this war, and these people are not small people. They have the resources. They are sitting outside. They are watching keenly. If we don't take time, if we don't try to find ways and means of fencing this peace by ways of having control over our diamonds, this may happen again.
The diamond trade has made many people very happy and very rich in the Western world. But in Sierra Leone, walking on diamond-rich land, Mohammed's children are growing up in the poorest country in the world. To ensure that their lives are not again made worse by war and greed, the Kimberley process has to work.